Hi, Ruth. Thank you so much for allowing me to record this portion of our interview. I am very interested in learning a little bit more about you and some of your professional experience.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, great. So let's go ahead and um, start, I guess, from what you've done most recent. I see that you have worked with Kelly Services and you've done a few temp assignments. So what was the last position that you held with them, and what were your job duties?
So the last position I held was a copy clearance specialist. And so in that role, I was dedicated and was focused on managing per se a portfolio. And with that portfolio, it was helping try to help promotional materials specifically for Johnson Vision Care, because that's what I was contracted with. And from there, we were, in a sense, making sure that their promotional materials were adhering to the policies and regulations in place, and also checking, making sure that the individuals, the marketing professionals that were sending information or putting materials together, making sure that that it was cleared off and that it adhered to those standards. And so a lot of it was a lot of analysis, a lot of focusing on trying to work with different stakeholders to make sure that they're keeping their projects on task, and also communicating and finding different ways to make the process smoother.
Perfect. Thank you so much. And then before that, I think we'll skip back just a few positions from some of the staffing positions that you had held. It looks like you were a research and program associate. Was that for about, was that two to 3 years or two
Yes,
years?
I would say so. I would say about 2 years. And so, as a
Okay.
research program associate, I did that specifically for the Jesse Ball DuPont Fund. And so, a lot of the work that I did as a research and program associate was the research side of it was focusing on policies and creating policy briefs, specifically for foundations to be able to understand what initial investments they could potentially do. So, I worked really closely with the CEO and the vice president to kind of find specific areas within their focus core areas to possibly look into funding. And so a lot of the research was finding and gathering that information to be able to help them make sound decisions and be able to understand the best ways to help the community. The program side of it was more so helping and assisting with the grant, the grant process itself. So a lot of what I was doing was within the grant system that we use. I was, making sure that that all the information for the grantees were filled in correctly. I also was reading the actual grants themselves and communicating with the grantees to ensure that they were understanding the process, as well as that they had all the documentation and things in place to be able to submit the grant to the foundation within that specific deadline. So a lot of it was within the foundational space. And so it's been, it was a really cool job and a really awesome experience.
Yes, it sounds it. Sounds like you got a really good overview of the program there. So, um, then I noticed that a little bit before that, you graduated from Stetson University. And what did you major in at Stetson?
Yeah, so my major was political science with minors in communication, sociology, and media studies.
Okay, wonderful. And I see that you speak a few languages too. Tell me about that.
Yeah, for sure. So I speak English, of course, my native language, and then I also speak Haitian Creole as well. So I would say that I'm pretty, proficient, but I'm not the best speaker, according to other individuals that are actually natives from Haiti. But I do have a pretty good speaking proficiency.
That's wonderful. So I guess I'm going to go ahead and wrap up this portion of the interview, the recorded portion. I really appreciate you explaining, in your own words, a little bit about what you did in those two positions, and your education and your background. So what I'd like to do, if it's okay with you, I'm going
Mhm.
to stop the recording, but we're not finished yet. We're still going to kind of dig a little
Mhm.
deeper with some of your software experience. And your office skills as well. So I'm going to go ahead and stop this portion, but don't hang up. Thank you.
Okay.